Why hello there, and welcome back to Some Weirdo on the Internet and the review of yet another unofficial Harry Potter role-playing game, because I guess that's a thing I do here on this channel. In previous videos, I took a look at what were, at the time, the most recent Harry Potter RPGs, and this time I thought it might be fun to look at the earliest. Broomstix, the Harry Potter role-playing game. Unleashed onto the internet in 2002, a point at which there were only 4 Harry Potter books and probably 1 movie, and a long time before the recent revelations about the author being kind of a terrible person. Although that whole pro-slavery stance she took in the 4th book probably should have been something of a hint. So let's get into this, and let's make us a character. Characters have 3 attributes: athletics, knowledge, and intrigue, all of which start at 0, and we get 5 points to distribute between them. We also have a magic attribute, which is equal to our current year at Hogwarts, so 1. Each attribute has associated skills, and many of the skills have specialties. Then we get a number of points to put into skills equal to the number of points we put into the associated attribute. And now the specialties are not ever actually explained, so moving on. Then we choose our house. We can choose between Gryffindor, Ravenclaw, and Hufflepuff. The rules do specify that Slytherin are exclusively bad guys in the game. And let's go with Ravenclaw, I guess, which gives us a +1 bonus when displaying wisdom or honor, and experience when accomplishing a goal through wise decision-making. We also choose a unique situation, which is some kind of background trait, and let's take Muggle upbringing, which gives us a +4 bonus to Muggle studies. Then we get all of our basic school supplies, including textbooks, then our wand, and we choose the wood, length, quality of motion, and magical component. Then we have the option to choose one kind of magic that gets a +1 bonus and another that gets a -1 penalty, and let's go with arithmancy and transfiguration. Then we select a broom, and this brings up another issue. The rules state that you are purchasing school supplies, but you don't get any specific amount of money, and nothing has prices, and the only indication of how much money you have is enough to buy school supplies. And the only restriction is nothing fancy. So, which of these brooms are fancy? Is a Nimbus 2000 fancy? The books indicate that it is, but in the game it is indistinguishable from 3 other models. Also, one of the unique situations is wealthy, which says that you get more money, so I guess that just means that you can have any broom. And there's also a hand-me-downs one that says you don't need to spend money on school supplies, but you don't actually spend money on school supplies. And it all kinda has the feeling that there was supposed to be a monetary system, but then there wasn't. So I guess we'll take the old-fashioned broom. We also get a familiar, and it says owls are the most expensive, but once again, no indication if that is too expensive, so whatever, let's have an owl. And this character is done, or as done as it can be. So, character creation here is certainly a thing. It is simple, but still incomplete. In addition to the things already pointed out, there's also the part where your house determines when you gain experience, except that there is no experience system in the game. You just gain bonuses based on time, and at a very slow pace. So, 2 out of 6 for character creation. It is mostly there. The mechanics are fairly simple, up to a point. When you want to do a thing, you roll a d20, add applicable bonuses, and consult a chart for your result. So let's say we want to do some mathemagics. We roll a d20, add +1 from our arithmancy skill, and +1 from our wand, and get a success. Opposed rolls work similarly, except that you subtract the opponent's skill bonus from the roll. So let's say we get into a scuffle with a particularly aggressive Slytherin. We roll, add our fighting bonus, and then subtract their fighting bonus. And our effort was a flop, which presumably means we get hurt, which means we may suffer a penalty to future actions until healed. Yes, there is no damage system or really even any suggestions on how to deal with it. And now specialties may or may not factor into the rules in some way. In one example, it is mentioned that a character has +1 in dueling, but never how that affects their roll. But fortunately, that is something of a non-issue, since the rules never explained how to do specialties, so it doesn't matter that we don't know how to use them. There are also rules included for Quidditch, which might make sense if you understand Quidditch. So, 2 out of 6 for mechanics. It is hypothetically okay, like I understand the idea they were going for. It is simple, and the aspect of subtracting opposing skill bonuses means you don't need full stats for NPCs or monsters, just the relevant skill bonus, which would make for a fast and simple game, but it is also just too incomplete. The game is very minimally written. It is very much just, here's the rules, which, as I've gone over before, aren't explained incredibly well, or thoroughly, or completely. With such incredibly obvious oversights, like never explaining specialties twice, stating how characters gain experience without actually having an experience-based advancement system, and just a lot of things that speak of very poor editing. So, -1 for writing. There is some attention given to presentation here. It is a definite step above the plain text on white page that you see in a lot of other indie games from this period. So, 3 out of 6 for presentation. It's okay. It could be better, but it's okay. And that was Broomstix, the Harry Potter role-playing game. Probably the first, but certainly not the best. For as simple as it is impressively incomplete. With some house ruling, you could play it, but there'd be little point with the much better options now available. Of course, in 2002, those options weren't available and wouldn't be for years, and this is clearly something someone threw together for fun and maybe to answer the demand for a Harry Potter role-playing game. Which it technically is. Alright, thank you for watching, with extra special thanks to my Fightin' Flail Snails, Samuel Gorski, Randy Mulholland, and SC Woolridge, as well as all of my other patrons. If you'd like to be cool like them, check out my Patreon where you can get early access to videos and fun stuff that I make for the Patreon. And if you don't want to do that, that's cool too. You can still hit all the lovely buttons, like, subscribe, these other videos, which I am sure are lovely videos. And I will see you next time.